Welcome to Java for Beginners. My name is Mike McMillan and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. This course is a beginning course in Java programming. We don't expect you to have any background using a programming language, although I do expect you to have a certain amount of background with using computers. You need to be able to work a text editor. You need to understand about file systems, at least about directories and subdirectories to some extent. If not, you might want to brush up on those things before you continue on with the course. This course will cover several introductory topics in Java. I'll list a few of them for you right now. First of all, we're going to talk about how the Java compiler works. After that, we're going to talk about data types and variables. Those are the building blocks of all programming languages. Then we're going to talk about how to do arithmetic in Java. So we'll be talking about arithmetic operators and expressions, simply how to do arithmetic. After that, we'll talk some about input and output. In other words, how to get data into your programs and how to get data out of your programs. Next, we'll talk about how to make decisions in your Java programs using if statements. Then we'll talk about performing repetition. And this chapter will talk about loops such as the while loop and the for loop. Next, we'll talk about methods. Methods are the same thing as functions. So we'll talk about how to write methods and how to use them in your program. We'll spend a lot of time talking about object-oriented programming, everything from just how to build a class to more advanced topics such as inheritance and polymorphism. We'll also talk about various data structures to use in your program, such as arrays and array lists. And we'll also talk about text file processing, how to read and write text files. And that's not a comprehensive list. There's some other topics we'll also be discussing, but those are the main areas we'll be covering in the course. Now, I mentioned earlier that you need to have a certain familiarity with computers to do well in this course. However, what you will absolutely have to know how to use is a text editor. It won't matter what kind. I'll be using Notepad for Windows, but any text editor at all will work. And then the other thing you'll have to have is a copy of Java Software Development Kit. And in the next lesson, I'll be talking about how to download that from the internet. So I guess another requirement is you need to have an internet connection or the means to get a copy of the software development kit, also called the Java SDK. So that's what we're going to cover in the course. I hope you'll enjoy the course. Java is a great programming language. It's very popular. It's probably the most popular programming language out there right now. It's not a hard language to learn. It's easier than a language such as C++, for example. But, this course is going to take a little bit of work, but I promise you, if you pay attention to my lessons, work the exercises, and do some work on your own, you do well in the course. So now let's move on to the next lesson where I talk about how to download and install the Java compiler.